Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Came up from the struggle, now we stacking chips. Black Wall Street, we rebuilding from the pits. Politics and business, we beyond rich. Danny Glover Show, watch us shift the switch. Danny Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real ones come. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Danny Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Talking black excellence, ain't no exclusivity. History is making, reclaiming our divinity. Break by break, rebuilding our community. Danny Glover Show, celebrate unity. Danny Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real ones come. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Danny Glover Show by BMOnews.com. From the boardroom to the streets, we making waves. Business minds running, new paths paved. Politicians listen, they know we the brave. Black Wall Street dreams rising from the grave. Danny Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the
we have some stars in the building.
Danny Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Oh yo, oh yo, oh yo, yo.
We'd like to welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Special thank you to our executive producer of Be More News in Niagara, Mr. Emmanuel Price. We're up here this is the New York side, and that's the Canadian side, and we will be there for the New Year's dropping of the ball or somewhere around here. Very beautiful Niagara Falls, some of the best water in the world. So make sure you get out, get your passport, and do some traveling. And keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Here on Atlantic, Mississippi, with our very dear friend Corey Mathis. A beautiful town, New Orleans. Keep watching BeMoreNews.com. We're going to give you an update. 10 years since Katrina. The news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
Wall Street, we rebuilding from the pits. Politics and business, we beyond rich.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover, in it to win it. Good evening. We hope that you're well. This is Politics 26. Joining us, Andy Pierre, FoxLionLLC.com. How are you?
All right. How you doing, good brother? How you doing?
Looking like $1 million campaign manager. John Rydell, how are you, sir?
Doing great. How you doing, Donnie?
Man, glad to be in the land of the living. How about yourself?
Doing great. Boy, you get all over the world. New Orleans, New York, Middle East. It's unbelievable.
It's
great.
John, you
30 years of journalist.
You got more experience than me. Danny Blount, welcome home.
Hey, how you guys doing? What's going on? Hey, Andy, did you get my text?
I did. I got.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Hey, John, how are you, John?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
So John has made it pretty clear that there's nothing more important than the government shutdown.
That's what I said.
We had there we go.
Okay.
Did it go up?
Yeah. Everything all right?
Yes. Bear with me a second. Share.
We need to get Natalie on here.
It's not showing up. There we go. 10 key dates. Tell us about this shutdown, John.
Well, Donnie, I was in D.C. over the weekend. I was just curious at what was going on. Believe it or not, I grew up in the D.C. area, and you take it for granted, all the museums that are free and whatnot. And I heard on the news about that the president wanted to rewrite some history in this museum or that. You know, it was very, very troubling. I actually booked hotel for 2 nights down there, maybe several weeks ago, before the shutdown was announced. So I had to call up and cancel the reservations. They gave me a hard time at first because the call centers are, they're over in the Mideast or something like that. So they didn't understand that a shutdown is not like having COVID. Anyhow, I decided to go down there, walk around on Sunday. There was hardly anybody on the mall. This is after the No Kings protest. So I'm sure DC was mobbed on Saturday, but it had nothing to do with the government shutdown. There was only one museum that was open that I went through, is the U.S. Holocaust Museum. Not sure why they were still open, because they receive federal funding as well, but I think they're going to shut down Friday. We haven't even seen the beginning of the impact of what's going to happen, and I'm seeing on the news in Montgomery County there are long lines for food kitchens and things like that, food pantries, because of all of the people that are being laid off and the residuals of all of that. You think a DC, well, if you're a tourist, you're not going to go to DC because there's nothing open. Hotel cancellations, restaurant business is way down. And the key deadline really is November 1st. If they don't get a deal to reopen the government, and then that's when the subsidies or whatever for insurance could expire, and a whole bunch of things. So we're just in the early stages of all this. I mean, none of it's good, and we're at an impasse. Every time I turn on the news, there's nothing new.
Danny, you do work with the government, don't you?
I do know that we all probably know this, that as John said, in November, the last of October, the WIC programs, SNAP programs, I mean, this is major stuff, as John alluded to. And it's just the beginning. It's getting ready to get really crazy. And like you said, I'm retired military, and a lot of them are suffering now too. They did get some pay at the beginning of the month. Well, actually, at the middle of the month, the 15th, they did get a pay. But of course, we know some of those workers only got partial pay. So it's getting ready to get really serious.
Andy, is this the dictatorship yet?
It's funny that you would even ask me that, because I just watched a video about, I think it was Daily Show or something like that. That was like on my timeline, and he was talking about all the different things that's pretty dictator-ish, like what you would do to set people up for a dictatorship. And one of it is, killing your resources, making just controlling your standard of living. And so right now, yes, a lot of government workers are suffering and whatnot, and those are our neighbors and whatnot. But I'm wondering, like, what is it going to feel like when it starts to be a reverberating effect into private sector? Because, unless you're like a government contractor or something like that, private organizations, you don't really feel it yet. Like, what is it going to look like for, your regular businesses? Like, what does that look like when things go further? Because last time there was a long government shutdown, it was under Trump. And I'm still learning on this thing. I don't feel, in my lifetime, I feel like I don't feel like that. Is this natural? You guys have been around way longer than me and can tell me, is this natural in America for the government to be shutting down every year?
I don't know that I like the tone of that comment there. You guys have been around a lot. Well, you're no spring chicken there, sir. John?
No, I'm just wondering, like, in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, was the government shutting down every year?
Not like this. I mean,
No,
this guy's going for a record.
Now, when during Trump's first term, it was shut down for 30 days, something like that.
Yeah, 35 days, yeah.
And I'm seeing little clips on either social media or network news, cable news, of Trump being interviewed by someone. This is maybe 2013 or something like that, long before he ran for president. And he kept saying, you can't have a government shutdown. That's why you're elected president, and members of Congress to keep the government running. And he said that it's the buck stops with the president. This is before he ran for president in 2016. Mm-hmm. Boy, you know, in the age of video, you better be true to your word. Whatever you say 10 years ago, you know, don't forget that you said that.
Damn.
John, I don't understand how come the Epstein files 1 minute can be the topic du jour, blazing hot, as if we are on the precipice of having the files released. And then, what was the latest thing? Total distraction, and then the Epstein files, they're not talking about it anymore. Who does that? Is that the media doing that?
No, of course not. It comes from the White House. I guess maybe during the campaign, a lot of the people that were interviewed, or very early after Trump was inaugurated, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, was being interviewed on Fox News, and she said, "Oh, all of the files, they're on my desk right now to go through. They're on my desk." This is in January. And even the Charlie Kirk, who I'm sure you've talked about, whatever you think of him.
Mr. Bob, give me 1 second. Mr. Bob, you got to flip your camera around. I've seen you back there, but
Oh, okay.
He's coming.
Wait a minute. Let me.
Come on with it, John.
Anyhow, well, the latest today is the book was just released, written by the woman that committed suicide. That was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. There's a little bit on cable news about it, but they're not naming names for a bunch of different reasons. The woman that wrote the book says she has all the names, but she's been advised just to hold on to that for now. You know, whether Trump is, I mean, this is not going away. And the longer everyone puts off talking about it or just releasing it, you said that you had the files, you're going to release it. But even Charlie Kirk, it might have been the day that he was assassinated. Some young person asked him about the Epstein files. He said, you know, in the interest of transparency, everything should be released, unredacted, and there it is. So it's not going away. It's a dark cloud over the president and the White House and his administration. It's clear that he was a very good friend of Epstein. His name is certainly on the list. You kind of wonder, in the basement of the Attorney General's office, are they shredding the documents? But I think there are other copies that are circulating out there. So I don't know. It's whatever the president is going to do to distract, you know, tearing down the East Room, redoing the White House. We can talk about that because I know you've been to the White House. I saw the photo in your open. You've been down there. You know, you can
Never been to the Trump White House.
What's that?
I've never been to the Trump White House.
Okay. Yeah, neither have I. Yeah.
Harbaugh has.
Good for him.
Donnie, did you ever go into the East Room?
Yes.
Okay.
Both ends, the East and the West.
Okay. And it's, you know, it's a part of history. It's been around. You know, there have been minor renovations through the years. This is not a palace. It's not a castle. It was built as a Southern mansion. And when you go over to Europe and you see the castle, this is nothing like that. And no. I mean, what's the images that you see on TV? It's shocking. It's not any one president. It's a president's house for the length of his term. It's not Mar-a-Lago. It's not Kenny Bunkport or any
simplistic.
You know, it
functional,
is
very functional, very utilitarian.
I've taken the tour.
But
times. Yeah.
I think that he's doing something utilitarian right now. It's just not utilitarian in the sense of tradition. It's utilitarian in the sense of fundraising. He's putting in a bigger fundraising space and have a bigger $25,000 plate function there now. Now you can have Instead of 200 people, you could have 1,000 people.
Right, because the average person, they're not going to be invited to the White House into the East Room. If you take these tours, and I took one a number of years ago. I think it was the tail end of George W. Bush's administration. This was after 9/11. They wouldn't allow you to bring in an iPhone, a pen. You could walk in. That was it. They were so paranoid that you were going to do something. Maybe the tour, you walk through there for 2 minutes, but it's just unbelievable.
Like if I've never
let's
been
get
to.
Mr. Bob in here because he's been having the time of his life. Cut your light on, Mr. Bob. You look a little dark. Okay, all right, that's good enough. What are you doing with this government shutdown? So clearly, you could give a rat's bottom. That's good enough. That's good enough. Don't hurt yourself.
I mean, this is a Republican boycott of the government. It's not really a shutdown. I mean, the only reason things have stopped is because the Republican members of Congress are boycotting Washington. There's a whole lot of stuff Congress could be doing, even if they couldn't pass a continuing resolution for the budget. But nothing is happening because Mike MJ won't call them back so that they can the so-called Democrats can get the vote they need to approve the discharge petition for the Epstein files. Yep. This is not a government shutdown. This is Republican boycott. And so there's never been anything such as this before, ever.
Yeah, they won't sway the woman in to be able to take the vote, so exactly. They can. That's what this is all about. This is them just not allowing things to move forward if they confirm or swear in this other Democrat. They have the votes they need. Yeah.
It's a boycott. It's just like what happened in Texas when the Democrats left the state so that they wouldn't have a quorum. It's the same thing. It's a boycott. It's not a shutdown. It's a boycott.
Yeah, but they're still getting their paychecks, aren't they? Members of Congress.
But it's the kind of boycott that is just like in Texas, there wasn't a majority, so that their legislature couldn't pass any laws. It's a boycott here so that the U.S. government can't pass any laws or do anything else because of the boycott.
Yeah, but all those folks aren't suffering. The American people are the ones that always suffer, the disenfranchised, and they're the ones that are suffering.
Yeah, but they elected these idiots. They don't lack responsibility here, just like the guy who organized the Latino community to support Trump got deported. These Americans who are suffering, and I grant you, and I feel as much compassion as anybody, but they are responsible. Every one of these 500 and some people in Congress was elected to be there by these same people who are now suffering.
It's the 89 million people that didn't vote.
Yeah. So, I believe in therapeutic adversity.
Listen, we have with us a very special guest on the line, Auntie Alice. Auntie Alice, how are you?
I'm all right, Auntie. How are you?
Good. What are your thoughts on this government shutdown?
The government shutdown is screwing over a whole lot of people. The people who work for the government that are being laid off and trying to be hired back, the people that are going to the food banks, the people who are losing their car, they can't even pay their car, for their cars right now. They can't pay their rent. They can't buy food. It's been a real serious situation. One thing that our governor has done is he has allowed that there be free transportation for the folks who have been laid off, even though he's working with them. He has said that there will be no foreclosures for people who are buying houses, and there will be no people dislodged from their apartments because of the layoff. But those things are only, well, they're going to last for until the layoff is over, until the shutdown is over. But I'm just so tired of the folk saying that it's the Democrats' fault. They won't allow the young lady who ran in Arizona to be sworn in, and it's just a grand mess. And I'm really upset about the tearing down of part of the White House. So all of this is going on, and of course the young lady who committed suicide, her book has just been released today, and it's a horror story of the things that I've heard about, the things that are in the book right now.
And what's the book about?
The young lady who was one of Epstein's
Victims,
the one who committed suicide. And some of the stuff that they read in that book within the book was horrible. And so we haven't seen some prime minister who was rough with her and all the things that he did to her. And it's just been horrible, horrible, horrible. So one of the reasons why they don't want to swear in the young lady who was elected in the special election in Arizona is because she would be the 118th vote that will open the papers, the Epstein papers. And so that's why the Republican speaker will not swear her in. Although there were Republicans who were elected in special elections, they got sworn in the next day. So
That's
it's
right.
just a grand mess.
well, Auntie Alice, thank you for taking time out of your evening to share with us. And on behalf of John Rydell, Danny Blount, Andy Pierre, and attorney Robert Dashiell, we thank you. Anything you want to add before we let you get back to your evening programming?
My evening program is I'm watching the New York debate, and that is real interesting. I used to live in New York, so of course I'm very interested in politics, period, but I'm very, very interested in the New York debate, and it's satisfying.
Well, bring us up to speed. Eric Adams is out. What else is going on?
Well, what is happening is Trump really wants Cuomo to win. The numbers are not in his favor, but Mondami has 49% in the polls. Cuomo has 28% in the polls, and Swoop Leewise, Republican, has something like 13% of the polls. And so they're trying to get Leewise to drop out so that they'll just be between Cuomo and Mondami. But Mondami is kicking butt tonight. So it's going to be really interesting. They have had a lot of topics, and it's been really well organized.
Okay.
And so I'm just real interested in that at this point.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Auntie Alice, for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay.
Diane, can I say just one thing? And this is why this is not about the continuing resolution. Trump has offered more money to Argentina than it would take to continue the ACA subsidies. He's trying to blackmail Argentina with a $20 billion so-called loan if they elect the right president. Well, 3/4 of that would pay for the subsidies, the continuation of the ACA subsidies. This is not about the continue. You know what upsets me most about this shutdown is that there were only 7 million people out in the street last week for the No Kings rally when there should have been 70 million people out. That's what upsets me. People are sitting home like they can't do anything because they want to hedge their bet. They want to make sure that they don't do something to identify themselves as a Trump enemy when the reality of it is they have no control over that, because if you ain't his kind, you are his enemy, and ain't nothing you can do about that. So there should have been 70 million people in the street, not just 7. All the people, half of those people that are furloughed ain't got no jobs to go back to. Their jobs have been permanently deleted. And if you think the court order saying he can't do it means anything to them, you ain't been watching any of the news, because laws don't make any difference to him or his people.
While we got you, Mr. Bob, I've been seeing increasing stories. I saw one that about increasing stories about your friend Clarence Thomas. I say that jokingly, but it juxtaposed Clarence Thomas and Thurgood Marshall. What was the difference? What is the difference?
You know, I'd have to be a psychiatrist to be able to. I'll put it this way: both of them were operated under the influence of white folks, but they're just a different group. Clarence Thomas is bought and paid for by Trump's billionaire friends. There was a different group of white folk that motivated Thurgood. The ones like Jack Greenberg, who was in charge of the NAA Legal Defense Fund during that era. But this really highlights what the point I've been trying to make all along. When it comes to the Democrats and the Republicans, that fundamentally there's no difference because they're both private organizations run, controlled, managed, and funded by white people, by white billionaires. There's no question about it. And until we abandon the notion that we have to accept that as a reality and can't change it, nothing will change. This boycott is about Trump's power over the nation and in his mind over the world. It ain't about the continuing resolution. It ain't about the money to fund ACA. It's about Trump. That's why there should have been 70 million people out and not 7. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I did want to jump in there and say something about the No Kings protests. Whether they're 7 million or 70 or whatever. I was on Saturday. I was down in Montgomery County. Met a couple of high school guys. I wanted to go to some antique car show. Yeah, it was interesting. But driving back through the town of Olney, which is mostly suburban, stopped off to pick up some carryout or whatever. There are hundreds of people in the main intersection, and I've never seen that many people before. Back on Labor Day, I was up in Carroll County just running some errands. And there's like a whole bunch of people in front of the county office building. And in Carroll County, you don't know what it is. It could have been a MAGA rally for all I know. So I walked down there and it was a No Kings rally. And there was a band playing. There was a woman saying that you got to support Governor Wes Moore because he's being attacked by the Republicans or whatever. I took a couple of pictures, probably put it on social media. Carroll County, I mean, let's face it, it's overwhelmingly majority Republican. Some would say, it's kind of a MAGA county. I was very surprised at the number of people that I saw. And thinking back, generations ago, the big protests that you saw were, against the Vietnam War. They were in downtown Washington or New York or something like that. I've never seen so many of these protests, in suburbia. So this is, a lot of people say they're up in age. Not everybody. So, I mean, there's certainly a movement. I think there's going to be another one at some point later in the year. So, I mean, the message is out there, and the president is obviously, he's very defensive even beforehand. He says, I hear there are not going to be many people. Why would you even say that? Why would you even comment on it? He should have just said, that's the people's right to do whatever they want as long as they're not breaking the law. But he's worried about the optics of this, and the folks on Fox News are going to discount it as they do anything that isn't supportive of Trump. But that's just what they do, and that's how they make their money. And even and I will watch about 3 minutes of Fox News. I'll switch over to I just kind of sample things. I don't hang around and watch Fox News. But even this evening, they were kind of discounting all of the Democrats and their criticism of what's going on with the White House and the dismantling of the East Room. I mean, that's I know we've talked about it, but that's a bit of history. And I remember attending a news conference with President Reagan back in 1981. I was very young at the time, and he was unveiling the plans for the B-1 bomber and the MX missile and whatnot. These are very old buildings, but 300 million, and right, it's who's footing the bill. wealthy billionaire donors, and it's a quid pro quo. And we all know that.
Well, I think who's footing the bill is the $230 million that he's going to get from out of our pockets in the guise of a Justice Department settlement for all the quote investigations and unlawful prosecutions that he's had to suffer through.
He's becoming even richer with all of those cases. He's winning all of them too.
No, he hadn't won any of them. He hadn't won any of them. He hasn't won any of them. And we're talking about litigation that started, the civil suits that started before he was even sworn in, before he was even president. He hasn't won any of them. He doesn't.
I'm talking about the ones from when they barred him from the social media. Those people, he sued them, and he won cases against those companies.
They settled because they had pending mergers and they needed the approval of the Federal Communications Commission, which he controls, in order to approve their deals. Yeah. He didn't win. You don't, Pete, when you settle a case, there's no winners and losers. It's all dollars and cents. It's all how it shows up.
That's all he's concerned about is the dollars.
Right. Exactly. Him and everybody in his family has got, Barron is richer now than he could count. But this is about and the real fear is this is not, I say it's about Trump, but it's about the people, it's about the people who are using him, because see, he's silly enough to be used. He's silly enough to believe that people actually believe in him. Trust me, smart people know that he's a buffoon. They know he's a con artist. So the real question is who's pulling his strings? Who is allowing him to act a fool while they put in place in a permanent way? Because he ain't going to live forever. Even if no matter how long he remains president, he's going to die one way or the other. So what's the long-term plan? These people are not planning for the next 2 or 3 years. They're planning for the next 50. Who are they? What's the game plan?
So about 3 weeks ago, there was a speech made and reactions from military personnel and analysts to this address to the top military leaders by the president and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
Have been overwhelmingly critical. The speeches delivered at the Marine Corps base at Quantico were described by military experts as partisan, insulting, and a waste of resources.
Right.
Insulting rhetoric, the politicization of the military, divisive enemy within comments, concerns over competence and leadership, questions of authority. Danny, you were in the military. How did you take this?
I was just very highly insulted by the president, and it's just the worst that I've ever experienced. With what's going on now in the military and the leadership that's taking place. I heard that he was actually. He's talking about these folks like dogs, man, and I've just never seen anything like this before. I would never have thought that this kind of thing would happen for our armed forces. I've never thought anything like that would ever occur. It's pretty bad, pretty bad.
And then this guy Pete Hegseth. And I did do my research, and Mr. Hegseth he served some time in the military. But they seem to be, John, they just seem to be, just like when they were talking to Zelensky, they were very, I couldn't believe the way J.D. Vance talked to President Zelensky in the Oval Office before a world media. I just thought that was tasteless.
Well, you look at the vice president and you look at the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. These guys are 24/7. All they're thinking about is, I don't want to upset the president. I got to say exactly what he would want me to say. That's not leadership.
No.
It's not leadership at all. Lloyd Austin, the previous defense secretary, wasn't he a 3-star general? I mean,
Yes.
you look at all these guys out there. I don't know how many are generals or whatever, and they're looking at this guy, and that was a performance. That was something like a reality TV show.
They were,
I never served in the military, but it was I don't know. It was despicable.
they were in shock. They couldn't believe what they were hearing and seeing.
Right. I'm looking up Lloyd Austin, a U.S. Army general, and it says former United States Secretary of War. Now, can you imagine if he's looking at this and saying that's not what I did? It's very shameful. Pete Hetz, it's hard for me to pronounce his name. He did the weekend show on Fox with a couple of other people. Mm-hmm. And I read about him where he would say something, and then during the commercial break, he would go on his phone to see if Donald Trump repeated something that he said and put it out on Twitter or X or whatever. I mean, what kind of person does that? They're not journalists. They were anxious to please Trump, and in reality, they were auditioning to be part of his cabinet. And there's a woman on the weekend Fox show, Rachel Campos Duffy, and her claim to fame is that she was on a reality show on MTV, and that's where she met her husband, Sean Duffy, who's now the Secretary of the Department of Transportation. Believe me, I don't watch a lot of Fox News, but to me, it's important to find out what these people are saying. And when the average viewer is watching this every hour, every show, every day, they're becoming indoctrinated, and that's their only reality. They don't read a newspaper, Washington Post or New York Times, and they certainly don't watch NBC Nightly News or Today Show. And it's frightening where people think that they're getting news. And to me, it's what I see. It's just propaganda.
So
thing is, though, that Trump administration is probably one of the best administrations at propaganda, because they keep us on our toes, keep us well distracted. At no point in time can anybody really say they truly know what the hell is going on in America right now. When you look at this head chef guy, he talks like he didn't. That whole speech. It just seems like something that somebody who's very bitter about their military service could say on their TikTok, sitting in their living room, or wherever their computer is. Whereas, I don't know, it was not conduct becoming. Because conduct unbecoming of an officer, the way he was speaking and what he was saying, and yeah, sure, are there some fairly large officers in the military? Sure, and the police force too. But I'm pretty sure they can pass the PFA. When it comes down to it, what the military needs them for, they fulfill those duties very well. That's why they're where they're at. And so that's like this whole that America doesn't look like America, but it also looks a lot like America in the same sense. It's like the rose-colored glasses of the American dream that we've had is really being pulled off by this this administration.
I was surprised it was on live TV, but then again, of course it was, because it's the Trump administration and it's one big show. I would think generations ago, if you had, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, if he addressed the command staff, he's not going to make sure that it's televised on cable news or whatever. It's probably going to be private, and the hope would be that the military leaders would not reveal too much of what was said, because that that's not what you want. These are whole different times, and it's all about show and trying to look good, and but how does that help effectively run the country and the military?
Take a listen, if you will.
It was designed to reinforce the fact that they
unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit.
Okay.
Not because we want war. No one here wants war. But it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient to something or someone.
There you go, gentlemen. Your thoughts? It's the Secretary of War.
The last thing he said is absolutely true. Either you're willing to fight for your peace and freedom, or you will be subservient. And he's called out every thinking person. But the problem is we've become too lax as a people. Apathy is the chief characteristic. People think with the wrong part of their anatomy. They think with their emotions instead of what's left of our brains. The fact of the matter is, Trump, no president that I can recall has ever directed all the top military leaders from around the world and assembled them in a single place where one hand grenade could kill them all. I've never heard of that before. Why was that? That's to tell them that you work for Trump now. I don't care what you thought. I don't care what you thought your oath was or who you thought you were responsible to. You work for Donald Trump. You're part of his national police force. You're commanding. He is now directing you to control the cities. Even
it's not even Donald Trump. This is all scripted out of the the 2025 plan that was already established. This is all scripted, every bit of it. No matter what department you go in, it's all scripted. It's all going through script that has been put out there. It's all scripted, man. This is not regular how things are. This is not even like acting as if Palmati is normal. People have ups and downs and this and that. This is all scripted, like everybody's on point. This is just like all of them are part of AI. It's crazy, man. This is all scripted stuff, man, and it's dangerous.
Well, it's not dangerous if people sit home and watch it. It may be dangerous to those who it was dangerous for those who crossed the Pettus Bridge. It wasn't dangerous for us who watched it on television.
It's dangerous because people are going to be at each other. Because when people don't have the resources and things that they need, things become dangerous. People are starting to become in the survival mode. That's where this is all coming to. It's just beginning. It's going to get worse. I'm sure we all can agree to that.
Well, I'm taught that you don't win by focusing on what you don't have. You win by using what you do. And what we do have is our voices. What we do have is our feet. What we do have is our intellect. So, we got to use the things that we do have to overcome the things that threaten those things that we don't, but should have.
But they took away the press. They took away the press. The press used to be at Capitol Hill.
Who is they? It's
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Project 2025. It took they want to silence us, man. They want to silence us.
Yeah, well, And they will, and as long as we remain silent, they will win.
And that's what they're doing. Project, there it is right there. That's the game plan right there. We talked about it before it happened.
As long as we remain silent, we will. And that's why I keep saying there should have been 70 million people out there, not just 7 million, not just 7 million.
Those issues we've had when it comes to voting. I'm talking about even before the 2024 elections. Every year we started seeing less and less people participating in that process. Since Barack Obama, when it was like something we've never seen, it was a tsunami of voters. It has depleted and shrunk ever since. I mean, look at Baltimore City. Look at the election in Baltimore City for the mayor. They only had, what was the percentage, Donnie? The lowest ever.
First of all, I gotta just smile at the way you say Baltimore. It's Baltimore, man. I keep trying to tell you cats from Brooklyn, Baltimore, okay? Baltimore. All right, what was your question?
I can't get no more peanuts. So, you know what I'm saying is people voting, Donnie, people voting. The voter turnout in Baltimore City in 2024 was the lowest it's been in, I don't know, maybe.
Man, people don't have no faith in politics, man.
Yeah, it is.
Well, there's never been more than 35% of the eligible voters that participated in any election.
We're talking about 12%, 15% of Baltimore City for the mayor's race in 2024.
I got something for you here. Have you seen this?
That's the information of 700 Homeland Security employees and around 200 DOJ officials and the emails of 170 FBI employees. And the hackers apparently used Telegram and said that they're trying to cash in on the bounties placed on ICE. So this is referring to what Homeland Security says, that Mexican cartels have been involved, telling people that they would offer bounties or rewards of up to thousands of dollars, up to 50,000 for things such as finding information on these agents, kidnapping them, monitoring them, and even calling on assassination of officials, unfortunately. So
there you go, gentlemen.
Well, that's all about stopping the drug war, stopping the drugs from coming in. The cartels aren't having that.
Well, first of all, I don't believe that was put out by any cartels. I think that was part of the propaganda that somebody talked about earlier to have us believe that the patriots are now under attack. You know why they wear masks? Because we would recognize them as members of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. And that's why they wear masks. No other police force in the country wears masks. That's why they wear masks, because they will be recognized. They will be recognized because we've seen their pictures before. All you got to do is look at the January 6th crowd and you can pick them out.
Oh, these are the people who were breaking law and got locked up and got pardoned, and now they work for the government.
That's exactly right. Many of them are. Of course, not all of them, but many of them are. Many of them are. That's why they're wearing masks. And they're wearing masks so they can terrorize people. Look, and somebody said, yeah, as I said earlier, you're right. This is not about. There are those that are controlling this situation, and Trump is just the poster child for it. Mm-hmm. He's just the one. He's just the one. But because we don't know who the others are, he's the only one we can direct our attack against, because he seems to be the leader of the band at the moment. But there's plenty of Trump. They got plenty of Trumps in the wing ready to take over the system once he has made it what they want it to be.
Okay, I want to get we only got a few minutes. Andy, what's happening in that 41st district? John, are you aware of the 41st district race?
Sure.
Andy, what's happening with it?
Well, my man Malcolm is still in the mix, duking it out, fighting it out. You got Ryan Turner's in there. He's trying to replace Malcolm in the House of Delegates. And then but everybody's just kind of like, if you're not a part of the Attar Rosenberg crew, it's just there's no other team. There's like it's not like
Pam Curtis works for Dahlia Attar.
the vision, pushing the vision.
Pam Curtis.
She's pushing the vision with Dahlia Attar, I guess.
Pretty smart move by Dahlia Attar to get a Pam Curtis on the team. She got Sean Stinnett. He got to say salam alaikum and shalom now, huh?
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, the 41st is not
halal and kosher, right?
The 41st is trying to lead the world. They're trying to set the example for the Gaza Strip. Let's come together.
What impact do you think Jill Carter has, if any? I mean, she's certainly backing Delegate Ruff, but I mean, I don't know. She's not in the legislature anymore, but I don't know. But is that going to be any of a factor? Or?
No.
Because she's
in a position where she can't be a factor, even if she wanted to be.
Right.
She should have took care of that before she left.
She tried to.
How so?
There was a betrayal.
Yeah, sure was.
How did she try to?
I understand. I wasn't present, but I understand that there were several meetings with these people who changed their votes because of who came under the influence of someone named Howard Freeman. That's what I hear.
Because my understanding is the state senator is supposed to control their state central committee. If it's 5 members, and that's why Danny and them voted against the state senator or a delegate being able to also be a member of the state central committee. I don't know if it was worth it, but the name of the game is controlling that state central committee.
The color of oppression is not black or white, it's green. Right? If you look where the money is and you look to see where the control is.
Clearly, Dahlia Attar had the control.
Okay, then.
It's way out of control. It's out of control for sure. You know, you can't have folks, controlling everything. That's not how democracy works. And that's
this ain't a democracy, man. This thing about money. I mean, we need to stop using these terms because
democracy, man. That's what it's all about. It's about democracy.
That's what it's supposed to be about. At the end of the day, it's about who's got the money and who's got the muscle.
Well, there it is.
The mayor of D.C. At first, she was complaining about Trump.
She has no control.
She didn't. But next thing you know, she out there singing.
Of course.
She was singing. I mean, I was like, damn.
But she's controlled by the federal government. She's not a state. She doesn't have a,
But she had to go that far.
She had to do what she had to do. Just like Project 2025. Project 25, they have a script. They said this is what you do.
Why did she have to do what she had to do? Why?
Because she wanted to keep her job.
Okay, and why does she want to keep her job?
Why? Because she's living the lifestyle she's living.
And how is she able to support that lifestyle? With money. It's listen.
Oh yeah, we know money. We know money.
The color of oppression is green. It's not black. It's not white. It's always been green.
We know it's about money. We do know that, but it's also about race.
So
don't forget that either.
Say what you want. She was over here saying, no, we don't need it. And next thing she was over there singing, Donald Trump, oh,
She got a phone call, man. She got a phone call.
No, he held up $1 billion of DC taxpayer money that he wouldn't release.
Yeah. And he did put like National Guard all over her streets.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
That's a no-win job. It really is.
It is. It really is.
It's not like any other city. It's not like Baltimore or anywhere else.
No, she has no backup. She has no nothing. She has nothing.
Hands are tied. It doesn't matter who's the mayor. Your hands are tied.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, I want to share something with you, but I want to start off with this, and I'm going to say this piece is protected under the fair comment and public interest of journalism. So anyway, there was a article put out by the MarylandWire.Substack.com. You familiar with them, Andy?
Yep.
Talking about your boy
Substack.
Barry O'Connell.
Well, yep. So all of that, I sent it to you. So we know that.
Let's clarify. What is Barry?
What is Barry?
Tell us.
It's not Barry.
I didn't heard mixed review. Is Barry a journalist? Because Barry said that I didn't even go to college, and it's like, why are you swinging on me, Barry? I've got no beef with you. Why are you over here in my academic resume? Who cares? So is he a journalist? Is he a political whisperer?
I don't know if he's a journalist. He might be. He might not be. I don't know.
Maybe whistleblower.
He runs a Facebook group.
Whatever.
He's a pundit.
He's a person that puts news out or whatever.
Influencer.
Yeah, that's all. So
One
anyway,
minute he on Izzy, next minute he on.
As he should. I think people are supposed to be.
He like the white Darren Muhammad.
I think people.
Yeah, he definitely rabbles.
He ruffles feathers.
He definitely rouses the rabbles.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So anyway, the young Democrats of Maryland had an election. My man Andy Pierre person was on your show, Donnie. She was trying to get that position. We all know didn't happen.
Come on, get the name.
That's why I'm asking Andy to help me out with that real quick. I don't know her name.
Oma Agarin.
There it is. So, Ruben Amaya, he's the third vice chair of the Maryland Democratic Party, and he also was a candidate for that position. And he had that room just stacked and stacked and stacked. But anyway, bottom line.
No, it's not about the room stack. The room stack didn't matter. We don't know how many votes were cast because you were not supposed to be able to vote in that election if you weren't in the room. Yet, we have no idea how many votes were cast.
That's right. What I'm saying,
link was just being sent all over the state of Maryland. So there's so much shadiness going on.
It's shady. That's what I'm getting at. And the thing about it is that the outcome was that Ruben became the president of the Young Dems of Maryland. Well, that happened, and he put his team together. Once he put his board together and everything.
The board was voted on. Every member won their election.
Yeah, and so all of them were able to do so. You had Conandra Young, you had Deli Ogleford, you had Mark Brewster, and you had Connor White. Okay, so that was the board, and of course Ruben headed it off as the president of the board. But anyway, Mr. O'Connell wrote this article about Ruben Amaya's friend, which was Ian Miller's roommate, which name was Garrett Hill. Is that correct, Andy? Garrett Hill? You heard that name?
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Hill.
Yeah, he's on the board now.
Yeah, he's on the board now. But he's on the board now. So Garrett Hill had this relationship with this young lady. This is all alleged.
Damn, man, are you gonna get through this story tonight?
Okay, well, no, I gave it to you, but anyway, I'm not gonna go through it all. Read the article. I'll send it to you, Mr. Dashiell. You read it. John, if you don't have it, I'll send it to you.
Hold up, stop, Danny. What does it accuse? What does it accuse Ruben of?
It accused Ruben of not putting forward a complaint that she had against Garrett Hill for sexual harassment and
sexual assault.
It's assault, because it's called strangled. The article was that he was strangled.
So he suppressed information about a domestic violence incident
that she put forward to Ruben to file a complaint for, and he wouldn't push the complaint forward. That's what this article said. Because anyone listening, I'm just going by what this article said. And so what happened was they had a discussion. I think.
Why didn't he put it forward?
Well, they wanted to do a non-disclosure act. They want her to sign a paper.
Right, so there's so many holes. The reason why, let me backfill some of the holes for you. All
There
right.
you go. There you go.
All right. So this whole incident, the whole sexual assault incident, apparently happened before, like they're under a previous administration, and it was
Mhm.
brought to that previous administration. But there was like a whole, there was an election coming along. They tried to kick the can
Right.
down the road.
Mhm.
Now, election happens as the first meeting where the passing over the turning over of powers, right? Ruben's made aware of all of this. Well, that's not when he's made aware of it, but that's when he's given the power to do something about it. But he has been aware of this sexual assault
But they were
allegation
friends. They were all
from the beginning
friends. Yeah.
for this whole time. Now, his whole thing has been to try to just bury it. Now, this young lady, and so the thing is, Calandra Young is the one who ended up, who she got kicked off of the board,
Yes,
and
she
that was
did.
their answer to it. Was that okay? This kid raped this girl, and so we're gonna get rid of Calandra.
The victim,
Well, no,
was
wait,
she the
allegedly, the victim,
Alondra was
Mandy?
the victim?
No, Mandy
No,
was
she
the
was
victim.
the vice chair.
Who
The
was the
vice chair
victim?
got fired. She was Mandy, some lady, a girl named Mandy. So it was, the people involved is Garrett and Mandy.
Right.
Andy wrote a whole tell-all article, very long,
Yes, she
and
did.
so and that's how she's the one who said that Ruben has been involved and over here in the back working, trying to play both sides. So when he took power, instead of like Calandra's thing, when Calandra finds out about the whole thing, apparently what she said was, this is not something that the young Democrats should be dealing with. This should go to the authorities. This needs to go to the courts. This real. I respect that. But Ruben and the young lady did not want to press formal charges. She wanted young Dems to do something to Garrett about it, which whatever.
Was that
And they
unreasonable?
very it's very unreasonable. It's a volunteer organization with young kids. What are they gonna do? Like if you were violated and somebody broke the law against you and
Call the
you
police.
but
Why do I
well the
need to know
police.
this? Why do I need to know this?
Well, that's a scandal. What are you talking about?
Okay, it's a scandal. Why do I need to know about it? How can I use this to change or to solve the problems that I have today?
This
Well, it's just indicative as to why we don't have a next generation of young
Yeah.
people. Who the hell would want to be a part of that organization? This is the organization that's supposed to be bringing up the
the
next
future.
generation of young Democrats. And this is the generation that most Black young Democrats who want to be involved go to. We don't
Well,
have our own.
then I don't need to hear it because I don't believe that the Democrats has any future in it for Black people. So I don't need to hear this.
If there's no party for them, if there's no place for the Black man in the
I didn't
Republican
say that.
Party, and there's no place for the Black man.
I didn't say that. I didn't
So
say
what are
there's
we
no place for Black people just because that's why we're in the shape that we're in, because we think that the only place for us is something that was created by white folk, whether Democrat or Republican. That is exactly why we're in the shape we're in today.
Can he finish the story, Mr. Dashiell?
Mr. Dashiell says, so what?
That part of America is still open, I
My
guess.
beef with the whole situation is that Calandra was not a perpetrator or involved in this thing. All she said was that this whole should be dealt in the court. And somehow, some way, Robbie Leonard, a whole adult and attorney, gets involved in the situation. And what does he want to do? He wants to get the young girl Mandy to sign an NDA instead of advising her to go to the
Did
authorities.
y'all go and seek out an attorney?
Who?
Did you guys seek out an attorney to represent your position?
I'm not an offended. I'm not an affected party. Calandra's an affected party. That'd be on her.
Did she seek out an attorney?
Are we playing? Have a conversation with her. But yeah,
what can
probably.
we do
She
beyond
spoke to
playing
attorneys.
victim? And I think that's what Mr. Bob is asking. What we gonna do now? What? They took your lunch money. What you gonna do?
Well, we have to talk about. This is more indicative of this whole win with black women movement in aura, where if you've noticed, this whole situation was something that I was fighting against from the jump street, and everybody was like, oh, this is just a young Democratic election. This is not consequential. Why do you care? Why are you fighting so hard? I don't know. But guess what? Oh, three people who I saw leadership potential in, who were on my slate. They're not on the board no more.
They're gone.
Exactly. Like the boy Mark Brewster, he's running for council, and that's another set question about how Ruben is a shaky cat, man. Because like, how is it that Mark Brewster's running for council? He's told you this last year.
Yep.
And you wait until after he announces, and then all of a sudden you're running for his exact seat.
Well, they're in different districts now, so they're in different districts now.
Okay, why? Okay, Andy, I'm trying to help you out. Why should John Bob care?
I think they should. I think you guys should care, mostly because right now we're looking. We have a fledgling crop of young, up and coming black politicians who have no guidance. They got nobody on the other side reaching back for them and helping bringing them up. It's all and their
Andy,
methodology.
I've attempted to do some reaching back, as you know, and sometimes the students are not ready for the teacher.
The students may not be ready for the lessons, but the times when the lessons need to be learned, it's still that's what it is. It's just the lessons need to be learned now. Whether you're ready for the lesson or not ready for the lesson doesn't matter. You're here. It's senior year, and it's up high school, and it's time for the test. It's midterm.
Watch this, Andy. John.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I imagine somewhere in your career as a young journalist, you reached out to maybe a mentor, maybe someone older to help you along. Did someone older help you in your career?
Well, one person I can think of, and I had a very short conversation with him after I graduated from college, was Wes Moore, not the governor of Maryland, but his father, who was a newscaster at WMAL radio in Washington, D.C., and you hooked me up with him on a conference call because we were talking about him. And we were told when you get out of college, you need to reach out to somebody that's already in the business. I used to listen to WMAL, Wes Moore, the newscaster. I called him up at night in the newsroom. He picks up the phone. He didn't know who I am. I'm some kid. Had a brief conversation with him. This is years and years ago. And he's probably said something to the effect that you need to work on some small market, all that kind of stuff. Work your way up. You can't start out in Baltimore, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. Totally forgot about the conversation for decades until I read Wes Moore's book, The Other Wes Moore. And then I'm like, Wes Moore? That was the news guy. So, yes, you need mentors. This was, he wasn't an ongoing mentor, but sure, you need people in your business or just in general that says, okay, maybe this isn't the field you should go in. Not many people have that these days.
Okay, Bob Dashiell, did you have some mentors along the way?
Yes.
Stop playing, Mr. Bob. You done told me many stories.
I said yes. Yes.
And they mentored you because, you got quite a personality like me. I would imagine they mentored you because you kept showing up.
Why? What they saw and why they did it, only they could explain. But did I have mentors? Yeah, Pierre Mitchell was a mentor. In fact, he probably had, in terms of where I am today, he probably had more to do with it than anyone else. Larry Gibson was a mentor at one time. Former Judge Ken Johnson, who used to be a circuit court judge in Baltimore City, was a mentor at one time.
Did they just mentor you, or did you have to show up?
You have to show up.
See, that's the part I'm trying to get over to Andy.
You have to show up. You can open the schoolhouse, assuming that you got the right school, but you can open the schoolhouse, but it doesn't do any good if the kids are truant.
Got to show up, man. I had to show up. My first newspaper job was volunteer. They say you can get the job, but you got to volunteer for 30 days at BAL Radio. No money at all. But you're getting experience. And when I share, hey, you can intern with us. Oh no, I got to get paid. You ain't got no damn experience.
That's the problem right there.
Yeah, I'm a high
problem right there.
And then one intern told me I was gonna pay her to go to the White House. Like, what kind of stupid are you on?
Because we my generation, and I take full responsibility for this. We left the impression to those after us that the struggle was over, that all you had to do was work hard, and the system would reward you accordingly. We gave them the impression that we achieved freedom, and now all we had to do was put it up on the mantle and dust it off every now and then.
This is all what's going on with all this stuff that we just kind of talked about. It just shows you the character of all these people. That's what I'm getting from it. And if that's the case, then people need to take a real good look at these folks who are running for these offices and realize that they're not who they appear to be. They're not ready.
He's not a kid. He is not a child. He is the third vice chair of the Maryland Democratic Party.
I know that's a fact.
He is not a child. He is grown. And we got to stop looking at him from the lens of he's a kid and he's getting these passes. The fact that we're trying to, he pretty much scapegoated a young black woman who's a child, pretty much. Scapegoated her. She's getting kicked off and people are running her name through the mud. But It's okay. Because she's tough.
Okay.
So
she's been through some stuff.
She's gone. Is Deli gone too? And Mark, they're all gone, aren't they?
Deli gone.
The only
person left. The only black person. Well, the only person that was voted in that's black. It was Jaden Beal, the 17-year-old that runs the minority caucus.
And where are the black men that came to Jasmine Crockett's defense when they called her out of her name and still do? Where are the black men that come to her defense? Have you heard Hakeem Jeffries come to her defense? Have you heard Kwesi and Fumi come to her defense? Have you heard any of them come to her? The black men, where are they? In order to be a mentor, you got to act and conduct yourself in a way so that somebody wants to emulate you, somebody wants to be like you. Where is the example that they are showing to that so-called young generation?
That NDA thing is just unbelievable. I just thought that was, when I read it, it's like, you want me to sign a non-disclosure agreement to tell my story before you?
A volunteer organization wants me to sign a non-disclosure agreement about something that happened to me.
Yep. Wow.
But the thing is that
is that totally different than the new loyalty oath that Hegseth required the Defense Department media to sign in order to retain their access? Is it just a difference in degree? I submit that it's no different.
That's a damning thing, and I agree with you. But it's a damning thing to say, knowing whose idea it was to make them sign the NDA.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what makes it's like, whoa, Robbie Leonard, former secretary of the Maryland Democratic Party.
Andy, let me make my point clear. We have over and over again demonstrated, our so-called leaders have demonstrated over again that they select party over people. They select.
It's true.
That's a fact.
So why are you any more surprised at that than you are at Trump's acts, or that the script that's written in Project 2020? We can't be surprised because I'm
But
I can't say that I'm surprised.
yeah,
I'm more. It's more. It's like you ever have like something in the back of your mind that you're like, yeah, man, I know this is probably true, but you don't want it to be true. And then when it comes out that it is, you were exactly right as to what you were thinking was just an assumption with no facts back behind it. And it's like you didn't want to be right, but you're right. And it's like you're pissed about it. Like that's pretty much where I'm at with it. It's like I didn't want to be right about Ruben. I did not.
I get it. You were disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
You were disappointed. But my point is, you operate in a system that creates the Rubens. So why do you keep promoting the system?
I am definitely not a big fan. I mean, shoot, I personally think that we need to follow suit because I've noticed that there are some other like what is it? Los Angeles has a young Black Democrats. There are other like outside. There are young Black organizations that are organizing and building political power in other parts of the country outside of the traditional infrastructure that we just accepted, really.
Yeah.
And it's like
We lose time.
yes, we all are here in America, and it's all about being a hodgepodge and living together and this, that, and the third. But to be humanity in and of itself is to look out for number one. And so we have to account for that. We have to be aware of that. Yes, this whole kumbaya world that everybody wants to talk about. Oh, we want to hug each other and we want to make everything a safe space. But this is not how humans work.
Got to ask you guys one last question. Have you seen this guy?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Councilman Conway.
I've heard some. I'm grateful for any attention put on Penn North, but Torrance accused him, if I'm not mistaken, of taking pictures of addicts.
Oh my!
While he was there.
Torrance wrote a whole thing about it. I'm still trying to figure out.
Help me out. You trying to figure out what?
I'm still trying to figure out everything that went down. I know Torrance wrote this whole a post. It was like, and then Senator Hayes shared it, talking about and about the using the opioid epidemic as a platform item, as a campaign platform item. And
well, apparently you've missed the headline. The headline is he's running for Congress in the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Challenging the infume, but I'm wondering where is it? Like, I'm still trying to figure out, like, because I'm just picking it up from seeing. I think I saw Catalina Bird and the young lady from the NAACP who posted about it.
NAACP is defunct.
Baltimore City, huh?
Baltimore City NAACP is defunct. So is the Urban League, defunct.
So it's a whole mess.
I'm sorry, suspended.
Mr. Conway is trying to get a jump start on Kawhi's seat because this
Kwesi.
So he's trying to get a jump start, right? But
Brandon already won the seat.
Brandon is getting that seat.
Brandon is the quote unquote heir apparent, but
he's the heir apparent.
Antonio Hayes said he'll take that seat too.
Of course he will, but I think he's the heir apparent, and that's
he's the one that Kwesi is passing,
the torch to, right? Exactly.
In public, but it's who people vote for.
It's true too. That's right. That's when it comes down to.
And this race is every 2 years. Come on, Mr. Bob. I know you got a thought or two.
Danny, if I remember from high school physics, I was taught that you can push a building all day long and be sweaty and your muscles tired, but ain't nothing move. You ain't perform no work. I'm tired. I'm tired. We keep pulling at the strings and without trying to untie the knot. I can't. I just can't. I can't. I'm tired. I can't do that no more.
And that's why it's so important for us to have people ready to go, to come behind us, that we have equipped to finish the task. And then that's always the issue. You know, as you talked about earlier, Donnie, we all had mentors. I had my mentors. We all had those grown men and women that knew what they were talking about, who earned those titles and deposited in us what we needed to make it.
Right.
These young folks need the same thing. If they're not getting, they're going to fall off a cliff. And that's what's happening now. That's what Annie is talking about.
The difference is between the young folks in the days, they don't know they need mentorship.
And they want to go right to the front of the road.
They think they can Google everything and figure it out.
They want to go to the front of the line. They don't want to listen to the older folks. They want to be in charge. They want to have a seat at the table, but they want to run the table. They want to run it too, but they have no experience.
I need the old dogs. I need my OGs. Because they're gonna help me the game that I need to know. They're gonna give me some experience that I may not have. And save me some money I don't need to spend.
Save you some grief. And grief. That's right.
Mr. Bob will tell you all money ain't good money. Some money you just gotta leave on the table.
And there ain't never been no gain without some pain.
All right, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure catching up with you. We have to do this again. Andy Pierre, Danny Blount, John Rydell, Attorney Dashiell, you are appreciated.
Thank you, Donnie.
Bye-bye.
You, Donnie. Appreciate you.
Good evening, world.
Take care.